All right, we're here. And we kept telling me there was somebody else having a meeting. All right. Did it say that to you too, Todd?
Yes, ma'am. Sure did. This is the third time I popped in.
All right. I thought I canceled the other one, but the other one was a webinar, but I ended that. All right, we'll just have to go with what we got here. Yay.
Thanks, Marianne.
Welcome,
You're a
welcome.
wonderful woman.
All right, thank you, John. All right. Hi, Caroline, Brenda, and Vincent Cunningham. Welcome, welcome. All right. Let me see.
Hello.
There you are. Hey. I was just going to text you. All right, hold on. We're ready to get this party going.
I have got a whole house full of little kids with me. So it could get loud here in a second. So Marianne, tell a joke. Talk about the Eric Worre show.
All right.
You didn't get an email notice of what, Brenda, of this call? Did we not get the...
What? Oh, that might be true.
I'm on a big telephone.
It was on the, okay.
Huh?
I'm going to mute Tom. Hell of a day at sea, sir. All right. So I'll do that because you're probably right about that. Because I was tied up with the radio show, which went awesome today. We had Eric Worre on. I think I saw Pamela was on there. And we had John, which I call Josh all the time. I think he should have been a Josh. John Rulin, who did Giftology. And so that was actually a really great show. So normally I send out a little email about this. I used a previous, oh, good for you, Brenda. Good for you. I should be able to do this really quick while I have you guys on the line. Oh, Tom, are you back? Okay. Okay.
We have got 13 people on here, which is crazy. Did we not announce this?
You know what? I sent out a email on the meetings, and then I normally send out, yes, I'm going to send it out right now. I normally send out a special announcement email.
Okay.
So I'm going to do it right this second so everybody can have the link if they didn't get it.
Lanny announced it this morning.
Yes, it was announced.
Linda Tyler just announced it. That's good news. All right. All right. This is interesting. I will okay, a couple of things here that are pretty important. Number one, put important calls. Eric Worre was talking about that today. He said, how do you manage, he's terrible. He's got like 250,000 unresponded to emails. He's also got like 10,000 unresponded text messages. I have 0 I think, pretty close. I live my life with my day timer and responding to text messages and emails. And if I can tell you anything that's important, it's getting the handle on the discipline to do that. And the old speech called, I don't have time, doesn't count. Because I don't think anybody's as busy as me. You don't think anybody's as busy as you. And I am telling you, if you can develop that muscle of doing that, I never saw a piece of that. Good. Yeah, so this call's every week at the same time, and we're going to do it. It's basically a training seminar on RED, R-E-D, recruit, edify, and duplicate. Those are what we are after hard time. So think about where you are on. You have to be all 3 of those. And that's 5 fingers. I know it. I don't have any idea why I have 5 up and I only wanted 3. Recruit, edify, and duplicate. So what are you doing there? 65 days in a wake up. I know that is a grind to get through 66 days of that. I know doing 2 interviews a day is hard. I know doing 1 3-way call is even harder. But that 1 3-way call is critically important. And documenting all this is critically important. because I am telling you, I was just sitting with you guys, and she'll be on my interview tomorrow. A lady called me on the phone. She said, I met you someplace, and I really, really liked you. And would you have a cup of coffee with me if I come to Colorado? I go, yeah. She wrote me about a week ago and said, I'm in Colorado. I want to have that cup of coffee. I go, fine. Where do you want to go? She said, here's where I am. She was about an hour and a half away. So I looked at the map and I saw 45 minutes each direction. And I drove there to meet this woman. And she couldn't believe I would do it. But where else do I find a network marketer that is going to drive 45 minutes to meet with me? You know, you guys think about where leads are. Leads are right in front of you. And she's going, geez, I can't believe you would do this. And I'm so happy in Young Living. And I'm so happy with my sponsor. And I'm happy with this. I said, yeah. So she said, tell me about the coffee shop interview. I said, you're interviewing people to find out what moves them, money, time, or help. What moves you? She says, hope. I said, really? I said, tell me how you would. No, she said, money. I need money. I'm a single mom. I live in Galveston, Texas, and I've got 2 kids. My mom lives in Nacogdoches, which is where Keith Halls is from. And my dad lives in Dallas. I said, great. She says, I've worked at Saltgrass Restaurant for 9 years. And I know there's a better life out there for my kids, and I'm committed to get it. I go, really good. Why don't you present Young Living to me right now, to yourself? And she goes, I said, how would you pitch yourself? And she said, well, I chose to give you some samples. I give myself some samples of these products. I go, you told me that you joined Young Living for the money, yet you are pitching yourself. You know yourself better than anybody. And the way that you pitched yourself right there on the spot was you sent samples to yourself, which means you went with a product conversation for somebody that was looking for money. And I don't know if you got that, but she got that. Because what they told her they wanted to buy was money. What they told from those 2 things to products, because the products are what is most comfortable for her and less the fronting. And I promise you, those people, you know, so I had a conversation with her. I said, look, if I can create desire in you and I can show you that whatever it is, I got to find something here. Whatever it is that I said, here's the deal. I know you love Young Living products. I know you love those oils. But if I had told you that you could quit Saltgrass Restaurant, that you could have a relationship with your mom in Nacogdoches, if you could have a relationship with your dad in Dallas, if you could find the man of your life that you want to marry, and you could take care of your 2 kids, and all you have to do that is take this little Fitbit, this broken Fitbit that I can't figure out how to change the battery on. And if you go sell enough of these broken Fitbits that I can't change the battery on, you're going to get all that. Would you like to sign up for that idea? She's going to say yes. She came in here to getting more money. She came here getting more hope. She didn't give a rat's about the product. Yet she's been trained to throw up on people with the product. What I'm telling you is this. It doesn't matter what the product is until it matters what the product is. Now today with the longevity products, they're everywhere in my life. They're the most important thing because right now I am buying, Tom Chenault is buying health. I'm not buying money. I've got plenty of money. Tom Chenault has plenty of money. Tom Chenault doesn't have plenty of health. It's the most important thing to me. That's what I'm a buyer of. And your job, Rock Rice, your job, Barbara Stalling, your job, Lou Gallardi, is that you need to buy. You need to sell what people told you they want to buy. But you've got no way to know what they want to buy if you keep interviewing with your eyes. How many people do you think walk up to me all the time with the weight loss wafer? You got to buy this, Tom. You'll lose 45 pounds in 45 minutes. Really? I didn't know. Really? So you're telling me I need to eat less? Perfect. You're telling me I need to exercise more? Perfect. You're telling me I need to take your whiz-bang pill? Perfect. Why didn't I know that? I'm 66 years old and I just found out today. No, I knew all that. I didn't have the desire or the gift of desperation. But here comes Dr. Ike, and here comes Sanjeev Javia and Dr. Wallach saying, Tom, you're going to die. You can't out-supplement a bad diet. And if you don't get rid of the grains, the sugars, and the gluten, you're going to die. You know what? That murky picture came into focus. And if I, Tom Chenault, what did I do? If I had to eat this thing to lose the weight and stay healthy, I would eat this thing because they created that desire in me. Do you guys get that? You are the way. You are the path. You are the life to do that. I think that's kind of biblical in some sort of terms or another. But the fact of the matter is, that's who you are. That's who you are. You are that path to people. But you're not going to do it interviewing with your eyes. You've got to use your ears. You've got to learn how to ask the right questions. You've got to bring you. So, read, recruit, edify. I mean, you're edifying everybody. You're edifying your upline. You're edifying the company. You're edifying your leaders. There's nobody not getting edified here. You're edifying your prospects. You're edifying the waitress in the restaurant. You're edifying everybody. Those are the three magic things you do. And you can't break that chain. But if you get that, you get everything. So I want you to think about yourself. Where have you been in that conversation? Where has it occurred for you? And the truth of the matter is it probably hasn't. You're not doing it. And you all think I'm trying to sell this contact mapping app to you, even though we haven't charged anybody a penny. I'm not trying to sell you that. I'm trying to sell you on the fact that the more you remember, the more connected you are, the better off you're going to be. And everybody's all at Twitter, oh, Tom, I'm not going to buy the contact mapping app. Youngevity's going to have the same thing. It's going to have this. It's going to have that. That's complete and total hogwash. Youngevity is going to have far more than the contact mapping app. You're going to be able to go into that Youngevity, that thing. You're going to have all your people in there. Then you're going to be able to send videos. You're going to be able to send CDs. You're going to be able to send everything under the sun. And that's wonderful. But guess what? You just moved past where I am an absolute master. I am a master at the relationship part of it. Let them have the technology. Where the magic occurs is the way you treat your relationships. You get in there and you've got 5,000 videos to send and all the jazz that you send and do this and do that. You're just going to be standing and going, that's too complicated. I can't do it. Where I want you standing is human being to human being to human beings. Me looking Devin Suggs right in the eye saying, man, you're looking unbelievably fit. How are you feeling? How's your brother Dylan? How is your dad, Clay? How is your mother, Lorene? How is your life? That's what it is. It's about relationships. And the way that you remember that is to get into the contact mapping app. You dump that in. I was on the radio with Eric Worre a couple of minutes ago, and I brought up his children, the most important thing except for his grandchildren. And I named all his kids by name, which not one of you people on this call could do. And he was like crying because those kids, that wife, the Las Vegas hockey team, the Minnesota Vikings football team, and poker are what get Eric Worre out of bed every day. My job is to know what gets you out of bed every day. I work for you. Pamela Schwartz, she's got her husband. He's right there sitting on her lap from the TSA. That's him. Oh, no, that's her dog. Sorry. Pamela Schwartz, unbelievable woman, married the cop who showed up to investigate the domestic violence incidents from her former husband, and she married him. Cool enough, loves Jesus, attended Harvard. Hi, Adrian. Incredible woman. Sorry, we had Adrian. I actually don't own my house. I don't know if you guys know. Poor man. Adrian bought my house that I lived in.
We're performing a routine inspection.
So his monthly inspection is my landlord is today. So actually, he's got a whole bunch of friends here from San Antonio visiting on their way up to Estes Park, Colorado. So he is entertaining them, and he brought them by to see the house that he owns that they're going to move into when Denise and I move into our dream home. So he's got about 40 little kids here, and I shut my half of the house down to be able to do this webinar with you because somebody's got to pay for all this.
That's right.
All right,
One of these days I'll get back to work.
all right, love you, buddy. So I'm going to read your notes. There's Adrian. Yeah, good. He was great on the radio show. Good. It's cheap. Yeah, it's cheap. And you know what? We could. Yeah. I love apps. I love the computer. I love technology. I know it is super, super important and super, super necessary. But my job is to shift it the other direction. And one thing that I will tell you as prospectors, and this sounds more like an advertisement than a business tip here, but Marianne, you got to unmute yourself, Marianne, has been with me. And the conversations I'm having with people, I'm opening conversations with the contact mapping app. I'm opening conversations because people are absolutely transfixed by it, especially people that that are business people or salespeople, things like that. So Marianne and I, we've been sitting with people and we go, hey man, we know the guy that developed this app and you got to use this thing. It is unbelievable. It keeps track of everybody. What it does, here's what it does. It's an amazing app. You put the guy, you hand them the phone and they put their name and phone number in. And then you say, hold on, can we take a picture of you? And they take a picture of them. Picture of them. So now their name and phone number is in there. They hand it back to you. Say, what?
Oh, no, you cut out for a second. You're back.
Okay, so you take a picture of them. So they take a picture of themselves. So then they hand it back to you. And you say, no. I need to know a little bit about, tell me a little bit about your life. And you hit the microphone and have them speak into the phone, and that transcribes perfectly what they just said. Then you hit save, and then it says, when do you want to follow up on this person? And you look at them and say, you know, you're a really nice guy. I'm probably going to call you to say hi in a week. Is that okay with you? Oh, it's absolutely. Boom. It's done. You've shown them the app. You've got their contact information. They're in love with you. You're in love with them. You've got commonality right there, and the party's on. How cool is that? Pretty cool? And I've been doing that. It works. I was over at Red Frog Coffee this morning. This guy was a great guy. Interrupted me on something, and I turned around and I said, what do you do? He said, I'm a salesman for this, this, and this. I said, you ever heard of the contact mapping app? He goes, no. I go, it's going to change your life. I didn't say that I had anything to do with it. I didn't say Adrian had anything to do with it. It was unbelievable. So then we're at, got to tell you another amazing story. And I'm gonna, so, you know, during this call, we always do Let's Call a Guy, right? Isn't that kind of fun? So one of the guys we're going to do on Let's Call a Guy, Marianne, I'll tell you about, is a kid named Charlie. And so we're sitting at coffee, and this kid is sitting outside with another guy, and they are the cutest kids you've ever seen. It's starting to rain, and they're both on their phones, and their sister is in the coffee shop. So I took a picture of the two guys and sent it to the sister, and I walked out to them, and I said, you guys are so young. You look so ambitious. You look so happy. What's your story? This kid works at the restaurant called The Melting Pot, which is for zillionaires. And the other kid is a ditch digger. And the day before, he had to get under a trailer with a shovel this long and dig a hole 4x8 to fix a pipe. And I go, Charlie, is that your destiny? He goes, oh no, man, I love cars. I'm going to be an automotive technician. I go, really? I go, why? He goes, because I love cars. That's the lid for Charlie. Best looking kid you've ever seen. I said, what are your favorite cars? He's telling me about Lamborghinis. He's telling me about Ferraris. He's telling me about Teslas. I mentioned that we had a Tesla. He went crazy, said he used to be a valet parker. So then we went over to wristwatches, and this kid knew more about wristwatches than I'm ever going to know. So here's a guy that you interviewed with your eyes. digging a ditch under a trailer, making no money. And here's a guy with dreams like that knows all that. I walked up to his sister. I said, your brother is unbelievable. Tell me, oh, they're both black. I said, tell me about, how did you even get these brothers? She goes, it's the craziest story. My mom was married forever. My dad walked out on us. A month later, my mom was so lonely, she called child services and said, I want to adopt a couple kids. My heart is broken and I've got time and money to do it. They said, absolutely no problem. They said, these kids are at-risk kids and they're hard to get placed. Do you want a couple of these kids? She says, absolutely. She raised these. So now there's a single mom, 7 kids. So I said to Emily, I said, those kids are unbelievable. She goes, they really are. I said, why don't you have them shadow me for a day? Just hang out with me for a day. I could show them what's possible in life. She said, that is unbelievable. Let's do that. So I said, that's perfect. Is this boring? If anybody's bored or want me to go somewhere, please tell me and do something else.
No, I was there. It was really a great story. Keep going.
Oh, I forgot. Oh, I told Mary Ann to talk. Why haven't you said anything?
I don't know.
Okay. Okay, so here's the deal right now. I have no idea what Charlie's last name is. So go ahead, Mary Ann.
Well, what I wanted to say about Charlie, and he was talking about digging ditches, and he was talking about his dreams, right? And so he actually has a new job at a, I think he said BMW.
He's doing something as a lot boy.
Yeah, as a lot boy and what have you. And then he wants to go to school to become a mechanic. But let me tell you, his lid is here and his dreams are up here. He's not going to get it where he's playing it right now. There he is. He's such a cute kid. What a doll.
So I just
wait, put it back up. Put it back up so I can spotlight you big. Look at that. Look at that smile. He's a great kid.
That's Charlie. Emily's brother, 23 years old, sharp as a tack, all charisma, wants nice things in life, working as an excavator, hated that, went to work for Mercedes as a tech rep, wants to go to school to do that, has an old Jeep, loves it with all his heart, had an electrical problem that cost $1,000 and it didn't get fixed, lives in Fort Collins with his brother who works at the melting pot, best kid ever, met in Red Frog the 16th of June, 2018. I've got that kid dialed in. I didn't call him. I didn't.
No, I just did a slam dunk.
Oh,
that was it.
Yeah, so that's in the contact map, right? So I also told it to call him. We'll call him in a. Uh-oh. Yeah, good.
Hey, Tom.
Charlie, what are you doing, buddy?
I'm just hanging out at my house for college.
Did you get my text this morning?
This morning, no, I did not.
I sent you a text this morning, and let me look real quick at what it said.
All right.
Hold on. Nope. I must have just thought about texting you. Oh, no. I texted you this morning. It said, think big, Charlie. That was yesterday.
Oh, yes, sir. Yes, I've been thinking about that. I got that yesterday. I was like, I didn't get any text this morning.
Okay, so wait a second. When a guy like me sends you a text to think big, why wouldn't you respond to that text?
Well, I was kind of in the middle of work, and I was like, I can text this back later and space it.
Okay, so I want you to, that contact mapping app I told you about?
Yep, I have it.
Yeah, well, you got to start using it because you would have never let that go by because you can't forget about that. You got to major in the minor and minor in the majors. So I want you to shadow me for a day once you get that job under control a little bit. Is that a deal?
Yes, I would love to do that.
Now, did you friend me up on Facebook or even do any kind of Googling or due diligence on me?
I looked you up a little bit because my sister had told me to. She's like, you should just take a look to like figure out who he is. So I was like, okay, I need to do that.
Okay, so Charlie, I want you to take that little guy on your shoulder that's telling you to do stuff tomorrow and that a good job is enough, and punch him right in the face every time you think that. And if you ever, I swear to God, you listen to me anytime. And I don't care if the mentor is me, but God brought me to that coffee shop to meet you for a reason. And you don't want to spit in God's eye. So what you want to make darn sure of is that you go do all the research on me that you can, so you realize what's possible for you. Is that a deal?
Yes, will do.
I don't need your money, Charlie. I'm done. I'm old. My whole life is to give hope to guys like you, and you and your brother touched my heart. And we've got to figure out a way to have you have the life where you're driving those cars and wearing those wristwatches. Is that a deal?
Yes, I really appreciate that too.
All right. Well, we're off to the races, my friend, and we can do it.
All right, sounds good.
I think we just lost Tom.
I think he just dropped off.
Oh, I'll text him really quick. Let him know. But, this kid, like I was saying, I don't think he's in college right now, but he's talking about going to school to become a mechanic, to work on cars.
I heard him say he was hanging around the house before going to college.
Oh, before going to college? Is that what he said? Well, then
I thought that's what I heard. Anybody else hear that?
Yeah, he's 45 minutes north from here. So maybe that is what he said. We'll have to go back and listen to the recording. Okay, say something while I call Tom, because I got to let him know.
I texted him already. I texted him, honey.
Oh, good. All right. But what Tom's trying to say, that these people that we're meeting and interacting with and giving them something to look forward to and something to grow with, right? I mean, Dylan and Devin and those guys, they know what it's like. They're lost in a lot of ways of where they want to be going, and it's not to a restaurant every day. It's not to work. Oh, there you are. Tom is back. Alrighty. Okay.
All right. I can't believe my phone died. All right. Did that make sense to you guys? No product pitching, no nothing. I was trying to sell Charlie exactly what he wanted to buy. That's what you're doing. Okay. So all of you are saying, oh, if I had a radio show, if I had this, he doesn't know anything about the radio show. I asked him about the due diligence part because I wanted you guys to know he still has no idea who I am. He still is thinking about himself as a person digging out underneath houses. He has not seen the greatness in him that I've seen in him. Otherwise, he would have reached a little farther and just been searching like it was going out of style. So that's a tell for me. So I've got to get this guy Rich Dad, Poor Dad, for sure. I've got to get this guy some books, maybe Magic of Thinking Big, How to Win Friends and Influence People, because this guy's got the charisma, but he needs he's got to have that shift in his head that he can do anything. And that's my job to help him get there from here, not his. Can you warm up a cup of coffee for me before you come on, huh? So that's pretty cool, huh? What do you think of that? Anybody got any feedback? I'm not looking at them. The notes disappeared when my computer went down. So yeah, being totally real is the ticket. And listening more than you talk is so important. It is the magic of the business to be able to, Think and Grow Rich. That kind of stuff. Those are great books. And if you haven't read those books and they're not in your library, you guys are crazy. There we go. Okay, good. I got all the notes. All right, so back to my latest run. I am in the middle of 65 days in a wake up myself. And I quit after 7 days and I forgot to post on day 8. And so I went back to day 1, started over. I was completely tempted to say, I am the great Tom Chenault. I don't have to do this every day. You have no idea who I am. The second one was, I am the great Tom Chenault. I can lie and fake like I did those interviews. And that would have been another typical Tom Chenault move. Or I can be completely honest and human and tell it like it was, because every one of you are in the same boat. And I want you to keep your integrity more than anything else. The terms, Denise, I'll grab them. We just got 3 more of the awards from the graduates of 65 Days in a Wake Up. They just came in the mail today from Snap to Finish. We're getting those out tomorrow. Nothing warms my heart up more. You know, I just saw Dee Widener, who's Marianne's husband's friend from Nebraska, got into 65 Days in a Wake Up and wrote something beautiful that I haven't responded to yet about the fact that she's on day 61 and it changed her life and what it did to her, for her relationships, for her friendships, for her business, for her confidence. And I am telling all of you, those results are there at the end of this rainbow waiting for you. If you have the guts to be, what did you change? So the reason, Todd, the reason that you get tongue-tied and embarrassed is because you're trying to think of what you're going to say. But if you don't think, unmute him, will you please, Mayor? I'm looking. We'll have you unmuted here in a second.
Todd, I'm trying to unmute.
There he is.
There you
Todd,
go. Yes, sir.
the reason that you get tongue-tied is because you're thinking instead of listening hard. And if you would get out of having answers and having curiosity instead of happening. What's that hat say?
Oh, that's my nephew's race car number, 3N. Plexico 3N.
You unmuted him and he froze.
I sponsored his race car, and after the 3rd race, the 2nd month, my check doubled. I didn't realize why until I went and looked at my website. People were buying coffee off of the race car.
Happy for you. All right. So that,
Yes, it says Plexico 3N. It's the race car number. I sponsored it. It says Todd
Okay,
Plexico
good.
coffee with big coffee cup and coffee beans.
good. And do you love race cars?
Oh, I'm a NASCAR head, so when he went into the dirt racing, I'm all into the crew.
Now, do you know Jerry Aitken that's on this, he lives in Indianapolis and practically lives his life at the Indianapolis 500 Speedway. So you and Jerry need to know each other, and Steve Wallach. What else are you passionate about?
Oh my goodness. I've got a lot of passions. I love camping. I love being outdoors.
Where do you live?
People, and I love my grandkids. I try to spend as much time with them as possible.
Where do you live?
Funny. I live in Fairplay, but I say Placerville, California because it's the closest, but I'm in the process of moving down to Shingle Springs, which is below Placerville.
Very cool. And where would you live if you could?
Santa Cruz with our oldest daughter.
And how old is she?
37.
How many kids?
She's got 2. We have 6 together, my wife and I,
Really?
and then 7 grandchildren total. And I'm only 55.
And you're 55 years old. Hell, you just sign all those people up and you're a millionaire.
I wish. Man, I wanted to be one star so bad before this convention coming up, and the property took everything out of me trying to set up for the house. Well, you know, you guys are building a house. I'm doing the work. I can't afford to hire people.
Neither can I, but I'm still trying. Okay, so Oh, so you're building a house?
I'm building a foundation. I have a 4-bedroom manufactured home out in Fairplay that I raised the kids in for 25 years. We're moving that house down to the in-laws property. My father-in-law passed away last Father's Day, and my wife takes care of her mother. She needs 24-hour care, so that's why we're moving down to the property. I only see my wife 3 days a week.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
It's terrible.
I'm not sure I'd mind that. So that's a joke. Okay, so here I want you guys to go up and read what he said. I get tongue-tied and then I get embarrassed. So here I am, a pretty important, wealthy guy you're talking to, and you've got 50 people watching you talk to me. And you
I'm
did not,
nervous.
no, you aren't. You did not get tongue-tied. You did not get embarrassed because you were not using your brain. You were talking to me about what you love. You were talking to me about your grandkids. You were talking to me about NASCAR. You were talking to me about camping, and the words flowed out of your mouth at a level that was unbelievable. Would you agree with that?
If you say so.
Did you feel
I'll
tongue-tied?
listen to you.
Did you feel tongue-tied when you were talking earlier?
I was kind of flipping a little bit when you asked what my other passions were. That's where the brain started going.
So the point I'm trying to give you is that everything you need to know you already have. You need to read those 2 books I talked about earlier on my radio show, The Power of Who by Bob Bodine, and you need to read, obviously, Giftology, because those books are talking about treating the people that are the most important to you the best. But I am going to tell you something, Todd. There is no reason on earth that you have to worry about. When you're coming from your heart, you don't stumble. You just, even if the words don't come out right, when you're coming from your heart, you said the right thing. That's the most important part.
Okay.
And so the name of the game from there is bring your leaders with you. Have a plan. Angie Rubeck came down to my office and laid down what she wants to do in her business. And she put it on paper, and I'm telling you what, I was scared to death of that woman because she's so organized. She's a human resources director, and she really, really knows what she's doing as far as laying it out. And she laid it out. But what she did then was she went and did 66 days in a wake up. And see, I was tongue-tied. And at the point that she did that, she was able to see where her most power was generated from. And it wasn't her head, it was her heart. And now she's finding that power, and everything is shifting for her as a result of going through that. So I strongly suggest, Todd, that you fight your way through 66 days in a wake up. It's scary, and it's hard. It takes discipline.
I have one issue with that 66 days in a wake up. The property we're moving down to has no service. So we got to get the house down there in order to get a home phone and to get some kind of internet. I'm still running off my hotspot that I've been running for a year. But it don't work down there. So that's why I'm going as fast as I can to get on this property so I can jump back into where I was, because I climbed up to executive marketing director so fast. That's why I knew I was going to blow this business out. And then all of a sudden the hardship happened a little over, a year and a half ago. And now I'm still leaving business cards on tables when I'm at a restaurant. I've got the flyers from Esther, and I pin them up on billboards. And I just periodically check the 800 number to see if anybody's called in.
Okay, well, you're going to get arrested for littering. I want you to call me on the phone.
Okay.
I want you to call me on the phone and and I know you. Who do you work with? I think Corey Golden, a whole bunch of good people. I want you to call me and let's just chat for 10 minutes offline about, you've got such a gorgeous personality. I met you at the convention a year ago. I tried to give you a free convention ticket this year, and he's got so much integrity he wouldn't even take it. So
Well,
Understand.
because I bought one before we even knew it was going to be in San Diego when we were at the convention. I had enough money to buy a few items, and I scrimped and I got the ticket, got it cheap, and I'm there. That's why when you offered me the ticket this year, give it to somebody that really needs it, because I've got one, and I've got somebody that's I'm going to stay at their house down there. I mean, I'm still in this business. You ain't getting me out of this. I just got to get my feet running again.
Okay, and I want to stop you from being a wandering generality. That's my number one goal. So I love you, my friend, and I can help you. And that's that simple. All right, it's 11 after. Who's got questions? We covered a lot. I don't know if you know that. And I'm happy with the way that this call's going. Sometimes I'm not, because I think I completely went off on another tangent. And I'm happy with the way this is going. So who else has got a question? Anybody? It's all follow-up. It's all follow-up. What are you afraid of? What could possibly have you stopped? No, you cannot sell in Nigeria. Until a company, thank you, Barbara. Until a country is open, don't even try, because all you become is a smuggler. And at that point, it gets so difficult to build. And there is real opportunity in the neighborhood you live in that's just as big as Nigeria. So if you've got some giant person in your neighborhood that has relatives in Nigeria that you are dying to help, enroll that neighbor and let them figure out how to get product to Nigeria, because those people can figure anything out. The people in China can figure anything out. But don't make it your job. That way you don't end up in any kind of jackpot if something gets seized at the border or somebody gets mad. So, yeah. All right, let's see this. Tom.
I was going to say, I just wanted to add about the international stuff, because I had somebody that was in a country that's not our country, and where we're open, and so you can send it in a box, but they confiscated half of it. And then what do? Your customer's waiting for the products, and they never show up. And the government just takes it, or they charge them extra to pick up the box. So no Nigeria.
So if my phone rings, somebody just said they need to talk to me real quick, and I'm going to take the call.
Okay.
And I don't do that. I don't think I've ever done this on this call. If Steve Wallach called, I wouldn't even take his call. But the guy that's going to call me here in a second is one of those guys who has like 1 second. So if he calls, I'm going to take the call, and somebody's going to have to pick it up. I'll do that, and I'll show
you.
You
can pick it up.
Yeah.
Look how cute she looks.
Okay, so let's keep moving here. Okay, so I want to play. Okay, so I want to see. So my new girl Esther's here. Esther, do you have a camera on your phone? Esther, can you hear her? Can you unmute her? Esther, how are you?
She's actually unmuted, but
Unmuted.
Esther?
I don't know. Let's see.
All right. Esther's the lady from Baltimore. Walked her through, so she's going to be great. Walked her through. Go ahead and mute her now. She's going to be great. We walked her through the coffee shop interview. We walked her through all the training. We did everything we could to get her in. I turned around and looked at my phone Friday night, and she had set up 4 interviews, 4 3-way calls on the phone on her first day of being in the business. And I'm going, holy mackerel, send me the interviews. She didn't know what she was doing as far as sending all the interviews, but she's so on fire that those are the people you're looking for. Because what Esther did was, man, she's hitting it down that golf course as hard as she can. I explained to her about using tools and all that jazz, and she is plugged in at a level because her why is huge. She's young. She's 40 years old. She wants to retire. She wants to take care of her mother. She works for the Department of Social Services or something like that in Maryland. Just an incredible woman. But using Youngevity University, she sent me a text saying, I went through every module of Youngevity University. I know that inside and out. And that's what it is. So you guys, she's got no microphone. This is so exciting, because I promise you If you use Longevity University and 65 Days in a Wake Up, you can literally launch almost anybody. Now, I was talking to somebody the other day, and they said, Tom, I'm talking to everybody. I'm putting cards on cars. I'm doing all this stuff. I go, why? And they go, because I want to be rich. And I go, well, how many really good people do you have to have in longevity for you to really be rich? And they didn't know. They were talking like they had no idea. But Scott Fardulis only has 9 legs. Luis Ariaza only has 9 legs. You guys get that? Corey Gold only has 9 legs. Marianne Niehaus only has 9 legs. Cheryl Morley only has 9 legs. Lorene Williamson only has 9 legs. So that tells me that running up to every time Dr. Claire Kelway only has 9 legs. So that tells me that running up to literally everybody across your top line. If you've got 9 people on your top line and that are kicking, you got it made. If you've got 9 legs of 1 stars, you got it made. So the name of the game is every one of you can do this. Every one of you. And chasing the world down isn't necessary. Chasing down 9 people who are like Charlie, that have unbelievable skills, that are in the wrong place at the wrong time, and you can teach them network marketing, it's over. So stop being such a complete whirling dervish and go fall in love with 9 great people and show them how to do this business. Does that make sense? Denise, got anything? Denise?
I'm unmuting.
Okay, what do you got?
No, I think you've done a great job.
Look how pretty you are.
Oh,
I said that earlier. She was gorgeous.
well, thank you. I put on earrings and no, you've done a great job. I'm sorry. I don't know if you guys heard the background noise, but we had five little kids here. And so it was like romper room for a while. Yeah, so I know, it's so sweet. Thank you, Todd. But yeah, I am just in awe every day of your commitment to 65 and a Wake Up. And, I think it's really cool watching Tom too. It's something that is second nature for both of us. Wherever we go, we just are interested in people. And it doesn't even, the crazy thing is that it just doesn't take a lot as far as being inquisitive about somebody for them to just let you know what their, who they are and what their dreams and aspirations are. And I think it's partly because just people are just so busy these days, and we're always looking at screens, that we don't ever really connect on a personal level with somebody eye to eye, face to face, truly heart to heart, and I know that people actually, they feel it when you take the time to really, ask them a question and look at them, and people know that you care, that you're not just, you don't just want, I'm fine. So never underestimate your power to make a difference in the world, just even on a tiny level.
And Robin Tanner wrote, Tom, if you did 2 interviews on a day and a 3-way call and then didn't get my post done by midnight, would I call that on myself and reset to day 1? And the answer is, I am telling you guys not to reset. So the reason I'm telling you that is if you decide to then post like at 3 in the morning or 4 in the morning, because you find, so that's what you want to do. So don't be so sickeningly structured on your, regulated on yourself that You don't have to do that. You know, your intention was good. I am an anomaly to that, I believe, for two reasons. One, I am a nut, and I'm completely committed to habit. I'm reading this book by Brendan Bouchard, and I'm getting even more crazy about it. And I think that I am looked at as the example here. So there are certain you're watching. Check
Somehow
the
you
times
froze up, honey.
because that's the
Oh, we missed that whole thing.
I said
You froze
maybe
up. Repeat.
said I am going with me. And I have to be super, super diligent about it because I know so many people are watching me. And I know if I posted at 12:30 a.m., certain people would look at their wristwatches, check the time zone, and say, that guy's a flake. And I can't afford that with me. Just because I've stated myself to have complete integrity around this. But I will tell you, if you're posting like before the hair on fire call for that previous day, I think you are good by that. I think
it's all about your intentions, you know, and I heard you say before, it's like, you know, that thought that goes through your head, like, oh, I could fudge it, you know, I could make something up. You know, if your intentions are to do the work and to get it in, and I think it's all about your intentions always.
Yeah.
And so it builds the muscle. The practice, it's a practice that you're doing.
Yeah.
Just like you're practicing doing anything else with a coach or whatever. It's a practice. It's a daily practice, and you're building that muscle. And so if you know that that's also the intention behind the 65 and a Wake Up is that daily practice, then you're good.
So I'm watching Pamela Schwartz, who came into Youngevity through a company. I'm watching Rock Rice, who came through Beyond Organic. Rock Rice came in through Javalution. I'm looking at various faces here right now on my screen. Of course, just went the other way, so I can't see faces. Lorene Williamson came through a company called Adaptogenics, and they had a product called Taza Vita Coffee or something like that. Most of you came in via other companies, which I know about. I am begging you to put together a speech. David Allen Capital, another example, that looks like this. We represent a company called Youngevity, headed up by a guy named Dr. Joel Wallach, who has spent his entire life trying to change the health of the world. And he has a premise that the entire world should be on something called 90 for life, which is 68 minerals, 12 vitamins, and all the essential fatty acids. That is something called the Healthy Start Pack with us. So I'd love to bring you in my business. And even though you're interested in David Allen Capital, even though you're interested in the coffee, every one of us start this way. We enter Youngevity through this very, very, very small door called 90 for Life, which opens up this giant store of over 10,000 products that you can buy for everybody. But I'm begging you to come in through 90 for Life, because that's going to keep you healthy. That's going to keep our message simple and congruent. And then you can do what you want once you're in the club. And if you guys can develop that conversation, which is what I'm doing, it's working like a charm, because every person needs 90 for Life. Somebody sent me a text this morning. I don't know if Rebecca Coleman is on here. She did something really, really cool. She said, Dr. Wallach should brand this. And I hope I have permission to say what he should brand. But it was pretty cool. It caught my eye. Rebecca Coleman. She said, have you ever considered that Doc Wallach has identified the uniform law of health? Not just a formula, not just a theory, but the law. So what if you guys said that? And if Rebecca's on here, or if any of you talk to her, tell her I gave her credit for this, because I thought it was profound, because it's unique. And if you look people in the eye and say, this guy named Dr. Wallach has identified the uniform law of health, it is going to create interest. And then you say that it comes through something called the Healthy Start Pack. And I am begging you to get you and your family on this for at least 90 days to see how you feel. And you come through the longevity door that way, everything's going to change. Because all of a sudden, all that confusion, you hit the website right now, you got 40 choices of X, Y, and Z, D, E, and F. You don't know whether you're coming or going, and a confused mind does nothing. If as a group called the RED, R-E-D, Avengers, stand up and say, we are recruiters, we are edifiers, and we are duplicators, and we are unified in one message. And that one message is what I just said, the uniform law of health via the Healthy Start Pack, CEO Pack. I promise you, everything's going to change. So I'm begging you guys to simplify your messaging. Whether you're in Taza Vida, whether you're in David Allen Capital, whether you're in whatever you're in, I promise you, simplicity is what's going to carry the day, because a confused mind does nothing. You guys good with that? Anybody got any argument on that? The uniform law of health via the Healthy Start CEO Pack. I love that languaging a lot. It's not hard to understand. So if you guys can live with that a little bit, try it for a week and see what happens. And I told Esther, and I told the girl that I met at the airport today, you guys, did I talk about that meeting? Okay, I don't know that you guys would have taken that meeting. This woman is from Galveston. Didn't I tell this story? Did I tell this story or did I tell it? I told it. Okay, good.
I wasn't on it earlier.
Huh?
I don't know if you told the whole thing. You told about her coming to town and you were going to meet with her.
So I never say no. I had no idea why I was meeting with her. She's not recruitable yet. But now I have a relationship with her. And she did a Facebook Live as she left, threw it on her wall. It went out to everybody. All of those people are going, who's this guy named Tom Chenault? They're all coming to her Facebook wall, but hitting my link. And my entire goal was never to recruit this woman. I don't know what's going to happen to her business. I don't know what's going to happen to Young Living. I have no idea with all those things. But all I know is I developed a huge friendship with a woman today that is a network marketer, that I lost no time. And I walked in the restaurant, and there at the airport was a guy named Ken Selector, who's in our business, kind of stuck. But he got to see the coffee shop interview in action and how it could work for him. He got to see contact mapping in action and how it could work for him. So as a result, even though I went down there and I knew this person wasn't going to sign up today, when the day comes that Young Living isn't working for her, either as a company or for her as a network marketer, there's going to be a pretty short list of people she's going to call on the phone, and one of them is going to be me, because I want that extra mile to have a cup of coffee with her. Why did I do that? She's a network marketer. I need relationships like that. Every one of you can do that. So, yeah, that's what I want. All right, let me see what else is going on here that I need to tell you about. Look at that. There's one of my follow-ups on the contact mapping app today. The only one I haven't really talked to, so I couldn't say that I'm going to move it. And her name is Esther Irie. Isn't that cute?
Yay, Esther.
I'm here.
Yeah. Oh, you got a microphone.
Oh.
How you doing, Esther? How's it going?
Good.
How do you like it? You've been in Longevity now for just a few days. Talk about how you like it, how it's working, how you like all these, Marianne, how you like the community, how you like everything.
We love you. We love you very much, Tom, Mr. Chenault, and Mrs. Chenault. And thank you so much, Marianne, for filling in the gaps. The business is awesome. People need to know this information. It's for health, it's for life, it's for time, it's for money, it's for everything. It fits in everywhere. So it's just a blessing to be part of it. Thank you for the structure, the business, the opportunity, and the friendship. Yeah.
You're so beautiful, Esther. Look at you.
She is awesome.
Yay.
Awesome.
And yeah, so, and I talked to a guy, and I don't want to say his name because I have a feeling he's going to be on this wall soon, and he might be watching recording soon. But he called yesterday, and I talked to him, and he'd made $25,000 a month 20 years ago in a company called Delphin, Delfin. He left the profession and went and did a bunch of other stuff and made a ton of money. He called and said, I want to sign up. I want to do the business. I said, how much money do you want to make? And he told me how much money he wanted to make. And he told the whole story. And then he went on to tell me everything longevity needed to do to be perfect for him. So he's brand new in the business, and he wants to change everything because he doesn't feel that I or Dave Brisky or Steve Wallach have any idea as to what we're talking about. And his experience in this, and this has got and I didn't tell him no. I told him I'd get him on a call with Steve Wallach. I told him I would do something like that. But at the end of the day, that's not the guy I want to work with because he's not willing to be coachable. Esther is willing to be coachable. You want high performers willing to be coachable versus almost anything else. Does that make sense to you guys? Okay, so I got another guy I can call. Do you want me to call another guy? Would that feel good for you, even though it's 5:31? Okay, so this is a guy that just flitted into my head. He's moving. His company has got some integrity problems at the top. And so if this gets deep water in a hurry, I am going to drop the call. I'm going to hang up the call and call him back because I don't want him saying anything. And I just don't want anything bad to happen here. So, but I think it would be worth you guys hearing the progression. He told me his whole problem. I didn't offer any solutions. I'm going to offer one right now. So we talked to Charlie. That makes no sense. Spelled his name wrong.
Hey, Tom, I'm on Zoom right now. Can I call you back later?
Yeah, call me, but I want to talk to you. I talked to Steve Wallach, the CEO over at Longevity, and he's got massive insight because he had an inside look at your deal. So he wants to talk to you later. So if you get a chance, call me and I'll patch him in, okay?
All right, cool deal. Thanks, man.
Thanks for trusting me. I love you. Bye. All it was. All it was. So I took it from a generally big problem down to shrinking it in. So he's got this big problem with his company. He's trying to figure a place to land his team. I called Steve Wallach. I said, here's the parameters of what I need. Do you know about this, this, and this? He said, I do. I said, do you want to talk to this guy if I get him on the phone? Steve said yes. I said, do we really want this guy? Steve said yes. Therefore, I went. I just don't throw stuff in the air because it's important that you're talking about 9 people again as I hold up 10 fingers. You're talking about 9. And what you want to do is not waste your time. So if you can't be that upline for this person, or you haven't gotten me plugged into the conversation, so there's no way I can bring this guy to the beach. It's impossible that Tom Chenault brings this guy in. I could not do it. So I had to enroll Steve Wallach to ask him if he was going to help me reel. At the end of the day, Steve Wallach said, I will help you reel him in. I said, do we really want this fish? He said yes. So now I've got this thing started right. That's the way I work every day. I try to work so hard and so smart. And I see for some Charlies, no doubt about it. But every one of you are saying, man, I wish I had some leaders on my top line. I wish I had some leaders to go call. I'm here to tell you, the leaders you're looking to, the one leader you're looking to really train and develop, the one leader that you need to have know this thing inside and out, Longevity University and everything else, is that person looking back at you in the mirror. I am 100% convinced there's no one can stump the chump. There is nobody getting past me. Because I know I don't know the answers, but I'm calling Richard Renton. I'm calling Steve Wallach. I'm calling Denise Chenault. I'm calling Marianne Niehaus. I'm calling Pamela Schwartz. I don't give a rat's whether you're my upline, my downline, my dog catcher. If it's going to help me bring this person into my business and they're going to have a better life, I'm calling you. Yeah, love all that. Love everything you wrote. Everybody wrote great stuff. So what else do you want to know before I get out of here? We're doing presenter school down at the office tonight, and that will be fun. And just be bigger than be big. Be big. Stand strong. Let people know that it's going to be a gift to work to you for you, not a favor. They get to work with you, Devin Suggs. They get to work with you, Jerry Aitken, former caddy that was unbelievable in his life. If you guys knew Jerry Aitken, you've never met anybody like this guy. He loves Indiana basketball. He loves the Indianapolis 500. He loves golf. Nobody like him. If you knew him, you would love him. But you got to let people love you. You got to let people get close to you to love you. Claire, unbelievable woman. I can go on and on. So with that said.
Question.
Here was it.
Question.
Hit it.
Oh, do you have like a calendar where we could schedule three-way calls? Because I have one scheduled for Saturday at 6 p.m., but I don't know if it's good for you. But it's good for the person, and it's hard for me to reach you, then I can't complete the three-way.
Okay, so that's a great point. With me as your mentor, and if you've got a mentor, the way that works for me the best is, and I didn't tell you this time, Esther, because you're so brand new, I didn't want to constantly correct you. You do the copy shop interview. And I'm talking about the copy shop interview. It's on a business person. And you say, I think I can get this person on Saturday night at 6 o'clock Eastern time. Are you available, Tom? And that's just a yes, no question. So you send the email that has the person's name on there on the top line and says, I can do this three-way then. Can you do it? Or when you're during the course of your day, and this is really important, a lot of you use this. Marianne uses it all the time. If you need me and it's time sensitive, hit 811 on your phone. Write me a note and say, Tom, I need you for a three-way call. If you're available, I just sent you the copy shop interview. I'm going to go look at the copy shop interview. I'm going to see if it's hocus pocus and hocus pocus for me is, Tom, will you talk to this person who has a colon tumor who travels all over the world helping more people grow food using vertical gardening? If I got that text message, I'd say that I'm not your guy, which you knew that already. So you actually you sent that to Steve Wallach. But if I got that email from you, I'd look at Dylan and Devin do that to me all the time. They send me these text messages saying, read your email. I've got a copy shop interview for you. And then we go from there. So yeah, it's like that. And then we will set that up.
Okay. I think your email is at the bottom here somewhere because I don't have your email address.
Yeah.
I'll get it from Marianne then.
You've got emails from me. Just respond to those. Yeah. And then, yeah. So
emails or texts?
Emails. Email me the copy shop interview with the person's. I'm going to send you back your copy shop interview with your name on the subject line so you can see exactly what I did and how to do it.
Oh, I see your email right here.
There you go.
Okay.
God, do you have a great voice or what? All right. Who else? Anybody? Anybody going? Here's what I want you to do. Interview 2, three-way 1. Do 65 days in a wake up. Bring people to this call. Barbara Stallings, follow up. We need you to show us your three-way calls. Rock Rice, it's time for you to get back in the game. I got back in. You are playing it so big. I heard you're killing it. Lance Gordon told me that today. I called Rick Beister today with Lance Gordon on the phone, who's your upline. I told Lance to call Daniel Cotton, make sure that he's coming to the convention. So you're starting to get the kind of support you need as a person who doesn't have an upline out there pulling the oars for you every day. I called on your behalf today. You didn't even know. Anybody else? Put the person's name. Yeah, there you go. All right. Adios, everybody. I love you with all my heart. I guess we get to go home. Presentation school if you're living in Colorado. If you're living in Colorado and you are here, call Jane, call your team, call your upline, get them there. We'll see y'all later. Love you. Bye-bye.
I am not sure. I love you. Thank you, Tom.
Love you. Hi, Vincent. Hi.
Bye. Have a good night.
Thank you, Marianne.
Bye.
Done to do. Bye, Denise.
Bye, brother. Bye.
Well, they had to tear down a place
Bye,
like Bill
Sharon.
area with all
Bye,
over.
Pam.